I suppose that transitions us to No Mercy.
Oh, you mean the best game for N64 ever?
No, sadly I do not. We could get into a whole podcast about that, but that's not what I'm talking about.
We actually have to talk about No Mercy 2016 that's happening this weekend, huh?
Yes, we do, and that's why I say it was the perfect segue, because we have the triple threat, Styles, Ambrose, and Cena. God please let AJ retain.
I don't understand why for the championship you're having a three-way match. Every other match on this card that is not a tag team match is a singles match, but your championship is being decided in a triple threat match.
Which, it just annoys me because of the possibility that AJ could lose the title without even being pinned. I hate that.
Yeah. This could be where Cena, ties Ric Flair's record?
Yeah.
No.
No. Wouldn't it be 16?
Flair won more than 16. If you want to sit here and believe WWE revisionist history and Scott Steiner math, then yeah, it would be 16.
Okay.
But it's not. It was more than 16.
Are we counting then like some of the 1 week title changes, like when he went to
Phantom
Japan?
switches?
No, it's just he won more than 16 World Heavyweight Championships. So like I said, if you want to sit here and go by WWE math, then fine, believe the story, but
no,
it's not the true story.
Well, they recognize 8 NWA reigns, 6 WCW reigns, and 2 WWF reigns, although the actual number is anywhere from 16 to 25.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, so, no, that's the number that WWE promotes. Because it fits into their narrative.
But anyway, to even come close to the bottom of the foreseeable range of 16 to 25, he would have to win just to get to 16.
And I don't see him winning because he's about to take a sabbatical to go film American Grit. Ambrose is supposedly taking some time off to go film a movie. So I don't see any logical or WWE logical reason for AJ to lose come Sunday.
And the last time I looked at the betting odds, AJ was like a -300 or 400 favorite.
So yeah, I think AJ's got this one in the bag.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think it's too soon to take that belt off of AJ Styles. He needs to build that up, make that the de facto SmackDown championship. As much as I have that sneaking suspicion that John Cena's gonna win, fuck you, that's why. No, Styles is gonna win this one.
Well, speaking of too soon for a title change, don't take the women's title off of Becky Lynch. I like Alexa Bliss, but no.
I think this could be match of the night. I think this may be your sleeper. This may be your surprise. This is the one I'm looking forward to most, and I do see Becky Lynch retaining, but I think this has possibilities to be the best match of the night.
I don't know if I'd go best match of the night, but I am looking forward to it a lot. What about you, Abby?
I'm looking forward to it. I just hope they keep the title on Becky for a while.
Mm-hmm. She deserves a chance to establish it since she is the inaugural SmackDown Women's Champion. She should get a good little run before it goes to somebody else.
Yep.
Which unfortunately doesn't seem to be in the cards for Heath Slater and Rhino, because the last time I checked the odds on this one, the Usos were a sizable favorite.
Well, Heath got him that pull and that double wide. And now he's on main event, so
let's see, I don't care about the Usos. I don't care about Heath Slater. I used to care about Rhino.
And plus Rhino's running for office, so he needs to be out there, campaigning.
Oh, he is already, though. He's filming commercials even while he's touring. I just saw one today.
Well, he needs to be out there doing it more.
I suppose he does, but it just, I hate this idea of they're crowning a brand new championship and it's not even going to last a full month. It only lasts about 28 days.
Yeah, but did you really think that Heath Slater and Rhino were going to have a protracted title reign? It's Heath Slater.
Okay, but if they're nutty enough to actually put the titles on them in the first place, I thought they'd be nutty enough to stick with it for a while.
No. No.
And say what you will about Heath Slater, but he is legitimately the only person who's held both the SmackDown and the Raw Tag Team titles.
Well, good for old Heath.
He could put that on his mantle in his double wide.
Yeah.
Okay, The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. If The Miz loses, he loses his title. If Dolph loses, he's losing his career. Theoretically, hypothetically, there's a lot of moving pieces in this, so I'll let Abby start before I chime in.
Well, now the rumor is that they're trying to transition Dolph into a backstage role and out of the ring, so that he can focus on his comedy career and political commentating and shit like that. I don't care one way or the other. I don't think you take that title off Miz right now, because Miz is like the only true heel WWE has, because he's universally hated for all the right reasons, and Ziggler has been humiliated and stomped on and misused to the point where there's no rehabilitating him at this point.
Well, that's what's weird about it, though, is that usually at this point, when you've been stomped into the ground this much, this is when you actually win and overcome just being buried into oblivion. This is usually the time they do it, but because, like I said, there's moving pieces to this, some of which Abby just referenced, it feels like this is the time where a guy that should come back and make the big win might actually lose again. And man, that's an awfully sad swan song for Dolph Ziggler if he loses and loses and loses and then gets one last big chance and loses.
Well, see, last week I thought there's no way he's going to lose because, he just signed last year a multi-year contract, and, that pretty much telegraphed how this was going to turn out. But then you figure in, like you said, all these moving pieces, and it kind of throws it up in the air some.
Even Ric Flair has said on his own podcast that he thinks Ziggler is transitioning to the agent role. So, of course.
And the only problem I can find with that is that SmackDown's roster really can't afford to lose somebody. So unless they're looking at immediately calling someone up from NXT, I don't know how you can really afford to have one of your top guys go away.
There's that.
Potentially 3 of your top guys go away after this pay-per-view.
Right. Also, just as a side note, I don't know if I necessarily trust anything Ric Flair says on his own show. Perhaps that topic shouldn't be addressed here and now, but you know what I'm referring to.
Halle Berry.
Flair is just a parody, a sad parody of himself anymore, and I don't know, it's just, it's very sad and very, I don't know what other word I'm looking for other than sad. It's not even really funny.
It's just
two of the guys I really liked watching as I was growing up, and Ric Flair and Mick Foley, have now both become just complete and total parodies of what they once were.
Yeah. Well, I guess I can't put it any better than that, so I won't try to. Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt in a singles match. Who do you guys like in this? Jason?
Boy, if they're showing this back-to-back with The Miz and Dolph Ziggler, forget a bathroom break. I'm taking a shower break. It's like we've got Randy Orton, a has-been, versus Bray Wyatt, a never has-been.
Oh.
I see Bray Wyatt continuing to get buried because why not? At this point, why would I think that they would push Bray Wyatt at all?
Well, based on the last year, you would certainly come to that conclusion. They haven't done much with him.
Yeah. With Vince wanting Randy Orton to be AJ's next opponent, I don't see Bray winning this thing, which is just sad because they have really missed the boat on him.
Yeah. I don't think the cult following that waves their phones for his entrance music is even a thing anymore at this point.
Yeah, because sometimes you just got to give up and save your battery.
Well, just giving up is pretty much what they've done with him, so, yeah.
Exactly.
All right, Nikki Bella and Carmella. Fella. Ella. What the hella? I don't know. This is my bathroom break match. What about you guys?
I thought they were going to make this...
Make this what, Abby?
I thought they were going to make this a no DQ match.
I don't show that on my scorecard, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I know. I didn't either, but I thought that was the way they were going with it.
Maybe they feel like that would be bad timing since they're probably going to have a cage match at Hell in the Cell for Sasha and Charlotte. They don't want to add stipulations to random matches that don't matter.
Oh no, it's kind of like, who cares?
That's why I wanted to jump in on this one because I think it does matter. This is one where I was saying earlier, I think it could go two ways, and this is one where if on a pay-per-view, Nikki Bella could do the right thing and put Carmella over, I think it would do a lot more for Carmella to get a win over Nikki Bella than it would for Nikki Bella to get a win over Carmella.
But that's not how they think. They're going to be like, oh, Total Bellas is on. We got to promote that show. She's got to go over.
Yeah, let's not build any new stars in the women's division either. Let's treat it the exact same way we treat the men's division.
Yep. Well, that does put them on an equal playing field, I suppose, so there's your women's revolution.
There you go. They're both booked equally bad.
Speaking of booked bad, Kurt Hawkins doesn't even have an opponent. What the hell?
Who?
Kurt
I didn't
Hawkins?
care for him the first time in WWE. I didn't care for him in TNA. Why am I supposed to care now when he comes back? Especially when they haven't even announced his opponent.
Did you even care about him on the Indies as Brian Myers?
No, I didn't care about him then either.
I cared slightly. Not enough to, go out of my way to see him, but, knowing that he was the former Kurt Hawkins and he was working hard on the indie scene, I was like, well, good on him. He didn't have to, but at least he's out there trying.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, he's still Kurt Hawkins.
I suppose so. So what do they do here? Do they send out Jinder Mahal to job to him?
I don't know. Maybe the crowd will get a Let's Go Jobber chant going.
No, that would be during Jack Swagger and Baron Corbin.
Oh, boy.
There's your who gives a fuck match.
Can they battle to a double DQ in a loser loses their career match?
Only thing I want to see out of this is a little bit of the old Jack Swagger where he puts on the Patriot Lock and twists that ankle until he rips it right out of the socket.
Shoot.
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 What do you say, Abby?
I don't care. I have no reason to care about either one of these people.
In the battle of who could care less, they both lose.
I mean, seriously. I don't care. I mean, Corbin, he has improved on the microphone. He gave a decent promo during SummerSlam that nobody saw on the pre-show. He was okay on Talking Smack that week, but it's just, he's got no personality on their regular programming. So I don't care. I don't think any fan really has a reason to care about this man, or Swagger for that matter.
Yeah, well, on top of having no personality, Corbin also has no physique. Every time I look at him, I'm like, you're a pro wrestler?
And no hair.
And no hair. No physique, no hair, no personality, no pies.
And a frowny face on his stomach.
That's the only personality he has is his frowny face.
Yeah, that sad abdomen of his. It's like, no, he's one of the guys that needs to wear a shirt to wrestle.
Mm-hmm. And believe me, I'm not one to talk. I know I have a sad abdomen, but you're a professional wrestler and I'm not, so try a little harder, buddy.
I don't know. I don't care about either one of them. I probably won't even watch the match. I'll sit here and read a book while it's going on.
Well, it's the free show, so you can skip it.
Even the dog just sighed and groaned when we were talking about that. She's like, and then went back to sleep.
All right. Well, let's not belabor this then. If the dog needs to go for a walk or maybe get you to
oh, no,
stop
she
talking.
just heard Baron Corbin. It was like, really? And then rolled on her back and went back to sleep. Like, I cannot even wake up for this.
Yeah, well, that might just be my reaction too. I might go out and mow the lawn and then need to take a nap and just sleep right through this match. That may be my Sunday.
I mean, when you look at this weekend of wrestling, it's like you got a Noah show, a New Japan show, a WWE show, another New Japan show.
And there's also a UFC in the mix.
I don't pay any attention to those.
Right, but if you're the person like me who follows both wrestling and MMA, it's a pretty big card.
What night's the UFC fight going to be on?
Saturday night.
Saturday night.
And it's live from Manchester, England, which means that the main event starts at like 5 in the morning there.
Oh, so
hey, it's kind of like a New Japan show.
Yes, actually it is.
Oh, wait, so they are doing it local time there, or they're doing it for local time in the U.S.?
They're doing it for local time in the U.S., so it's time shifted to like 5 in the morning their time.
Oh, man, that live audience. Oh, those are some hardcore fans there.
Well, apparently they sold out the Manchester Arena, so yeah, they're pretty darn hardcore about it.
It's like, what, doors open at 1 in the morning?
I think they open at like 11.
Okay.
Because there's the free show, and then there's the fights on FS1, and then the main card starts at like 2 in the morning.
Yeah, those are some hardcore fans. Saturday night I'll be out, so I won't get to check that out, but maybe I'll get to the next UFC.
You can always check out our report, because Peach Machine will be covering it live on the website. So if you're out and you miss it, just read his report when you come home. Speaking of which, you haven't done a report lately, Jason. Are we going to get one for King of Pro Wrestling?
Yeah, I'll get one out for King of Pro Wrestling. It's just I haven't had internet that was reliable while the last New Japan show was going on, so I didn't get to watch it until several days after the fact, but I did, yeah. I am now back at home with reliable internet, so I can review that and give you a review of pro wrestling up on AngryMarks.com right after it happens.
I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully I'll be staying up and watching it live.
Yeah, we hear this all the time, and then you sleep.
Well, okay, that one night I did legitimately fall asleep, and I apologized afterward. I started to watch it and passed out like 5 minutes into it. I wasn't geared up enough that night for whatever reason.
Well, Monday show starts at 3 a.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. your time, so
yeah, I'll just get the coffee.
You should be able
going.
to stay up for it.
Yep, I'll just make a couple extra cups on the Keurig, and I should be good to go.
Sleep all day Sunday until Monday, and wake up then and watch it.
I mean, I'll probably be up watching the UFC show anyway, so I'll just roll from one end to the other. Alright, so
that's rough.
What other notes do we have before we wrap it up tonight, Abby? Anything that you want to cover that you probably covered on Top Rope Press this week?
No, not that I can think of, other than Del Rio and the ever-changing stabbing story.
Oh, yeah, we should touch on that for a minute before we wrap it up. So, do you think, is it even conceivable to you that he might have injured himself or staged this in some way? Do you believe that possibility?
I don't know about that, but it's weird that it went from he was stabbed over a minor traffic altercation to he was stabbed after eating dinner in a parking lot by a guy who escaped in his car to now he was attacked by a drunk homeless guy who went after Paige, and then the guy ran off. It's like, can you not keep your story straight? And especially when the police in San Antonio only have one record of a stabbing during last weekend, and it's not with Del Rio.
Right. And also the conflicting reports on whether Paige was there or not adds another layer to it. On top of...
Yeah, Paige only showed up in today's version of the story.
Right. And
the third.
And if he lost his cell phone or broke his cell phone while he was being attacked and couldn't call AAA because of that, why couldn't she pick up her phone and call them on his behalf?
Exactly.
There are many parts of this story that just don't add up under scrutiny, and I'm not saying he didn't really get attacked. It's just, why is it so inconsistent?
Yeah, what's the real manner in which he got attacked? That's what's being called into question. Not that he was attacked, because obviously he's got some damage on his body. I don't think it was self-inflicted. Maybe there was a domestic dispute. We don't know.
I did notice people were comparing the scars between him and Jamie Noble, and there's definitely no doubt Jamie Noble was attacked. You can't look at those photos and think he did that to himself.
Yeah, he can't really stab himself in the center of his back.
No. And the wound, just even looking at the stitched up wound, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, and Del Rio's are perfectly parallel, straight, small cuts on the top of one of his arms.
Well, didn't he have a cut on his scalp as well?
Yeah, but you can bang your head on something and do that.
True.
But I mean, if you look on his arm, it's like just a row of small, straight slices, not even very deep.
Well, I'm going to just say right here now on the podcast what I said to both of you earlier today on our private discussion. If it was to come out that he did this to himself, I wouldn't want the guy to be in professional wrestling anymore if he thinks that he has to do that to get out of a booking.
No, of course not. I mean, I'm not saying he did it to himself. I'm not saying Paige did it. I'm not saying that somebody else didn't attack him and do it. It's just, it's weird that there's A, no report of it, and B, the story has changed so much. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what's weird. And the wound pattern is just, it's just odd.
Mm-hmm. But, as I also said, as long as AAA is buying the story and not holding a grudge, if they're going to go with it, then I guess until proven otherwise, I'll go with it too.
Still, it smells very, very, very fishy.
It definitely,
I did it.
It doesn't seem right. There's too many questions and not enough answers. But
it was the clowns. That's what they're trying to cover up. It was the clowns.
Oh, jeez, not this whole clown thing again. I've already heard it enough.
Some clown came out of the woods. You know, Bozo rose from the dead and came and smashed it. I mean,
yeah,
I wouldn't put it past a clown. Clowns are just fucking evil.
And there is that clown faction in AAA too, so maybe it was one of them.
Yeah.
And those were supposed to be his opponents that night. See, there you go. It was the clowns.